Hi guys, welcome back. Oh my goodness. I feel like I haven't been here for such a long time. And I know, everyone has been saying coaching Ms. P, coaching Ms. P. Please, can you go back on YouTube, because I've been doing a whole lot of coaching, talking to individuals about mental health and mental wellness. If this is your first time coming onto my channel, welcome. My channel is actually about mental wellness and well-being in general for people. I talk about femininity. I talk about wellness and well-being. It's just a place where we can just talk about issues of life and certain perspectives and things that maybe, you've always thought about, but no one's really ever said it, or you've heard it, but now you want to get an in-depth analysis of those things. This is the channel where, you can learn more, some of the things that we grew up on and didn't understand. Now we are in the pop psychology era, and we are learning more, about ourselves and the things that happen to us. I will unpack those on this channel because, if you've been following me for a while and you're on my Instagram, which is Coaching Ms. P, or you're on my TikTok, which is Coaching Ms. P, Bona, I'm Coaching Ms. P everywhere, so you'll know that, what kind of content that I do. I'm a mental wellness coach. I, help people, I coach people. I let them understand themselves, understand their minds, what's happening in their subconscious, what are some of the things that they need to learn and cleanse their minds from in order for them to see themselves thriving, in order for them to see themselves shifting perspectives and really living a life that they can thrive in, a life that they can enjoy, This channel is about being soft and being kind words to each other, just really relaxing the mind, really relaxing the atmosphere, because we are in 2024, it's a new era, it's a new time, we just come out of the Easter holidays and it's been such a thrilling experience. It was my birthday on the 30th of March, so I really, really enjoyed it. And it was all about the lightness. It was all about shifting perspective, detaching ourselves, our views from old things and everything else. So the reason why I have this glass, as you may see, it actually has to do with today's topic, which I'm excited to talk about. When I go and talk about topics or talk about certain things, it's stuff that have been sitting and brewing in my mind and brewing in my spirit, right? And no better time than to talk about, the drinking culture in South Africa, which is, drinking, alcohol and mental wellness. This is actually what this video is about, It's about us understanding, why we drink and why then, why we do the things that we do when we're drunk, and why is alcohol not so good for brain health. And this is where I come in. So I'm going to start from the beginning, actually, because I feel like I haven't seen you guys in such a long time. I haven't spoken to some of you in a long time on the YouTube channel. So I feel like I need to just unpack a little bit so that you guys can understand. So as you would have seen when the video started, I am drinking non-alcoholic sparkling wine. Yes, I'm drinking a non-alcoholic sparkling wine. You may ask yourself, why am I doing that? I could have champagne, darling. I could be having, your Verve, your Moët, all of those lovely, pretty, luxurious drinking brands that are champagne and things like that, right? Actually, the reason why I'm not drinking is because I have stopped drinking completely. Yes, I have. And I'm actually enjoying this era. I really love it. I really, really feel like, not drinking is actually the new cool, or it is the cool that we never knew about. And we always thought that, we're supposed to be in this drinking culture and, right? We always thought, when we grow up, I also want to turn 18 or 21 so that one day I can be given the license to drink, people go out to restaurants and they go out to all these spaces and places, and what do we do when we get there? It's all about the shots, it's all about the alcohol, it's all about the wine, it's all about, and mind you guys, I'm not bashing anyone that is, loves their alcohol and loves their drinks, loves their drinkity drinks, their whiskeys, their champagnes and things like that. I'm not here to bash those people. This channel and this conversation is just to make you understand what alcohol does to the brain and what it does to your mind and your brain health. And as I said, I speak a lot about mental wellness. I coach on, mental well-being. I talk to different people who are going through certain things in their lives, just to make them understand brain health and understand what's happening with them. I talk to people that have traumas, have had past experiences, that have had to deal with parents maybe that drank in their household, and. And as a result, this is why I'm actually even having this conversation. And as a result, I'm actually here also saying, I'm actually enjoying, living a lifestyle that does not mean that I have to drink, living a lifestyle that is non-alcoholic. And what I'm also enjoying right now is that, we've seen it is a lifestyle. Alcohol, the one thing about alcohol, it's a lifestyle. People who drink, like going to like these fine restaurants and experiencing the fine wines. There's winelands, there's also whiskeys. There's a whole lot, in this industry. And it is such a booming industry, which I don't have any qualms with it. I feel like, all good and well for those people who really, really enjoy the drinking and all of that. But I also feel like because it pushes such a lifestyle and this culture that we are in, especially young people, we don't want to go out if there's no alcohol. People don't really do things if there's nothing offered to them, which is, again, alcohol, right? And therefore, it's built on this really nice living. You see the glasses, how, it just makes people feel like they've entered a new realm, a new space, because that's what alcohol does, right? It from a cognitive perspective, it actually pushes your cognitive experience so that it alters your mind and your consciousness. So you are living outside of the conscious realm into your alter ego space, right? And the more you drink, the more drinks you have, the more you follow a certain culture, the more, you feel like you are living in that space. That conscious space becomes something that you want to attain and have. However, one thing about alcohol is that it makes you, so once you've had your drinks and you've enjoyed yourself, but you start struggling with balance, start struggling with remembering certain things, your speech also starts becoming impaired, right? And that's like the short-term effect, right, from you drinking at a specific event in Mhlawumbe. You start feeling like, you can't see certain things, or, you start, your voice starts going up, but you really are enjoying yourself because that's what the experience is about. One thing that they don't tell us, right? So in other cultures, as a Black female, we found that, you drink, you learn the drinking culture when you see it on TV or when you're with your friends and things like that, right? But in other cultures, I'll say the white culture, young people get taught to drink at a young age, right? Not all the time. I'm not saying get taught because, at a young age, but you'll find that sometimes, I remember when I was in school, you'll find that if you go to Caitlin's house or whomever friend's house, when you get there, they do allow you to have drinks, right? But they monitor you. They they'll like be looking to see how do you guys behave when you are drunk. But the notion behind it was to actually allow you, when you are having your food, to actually taste your food. So what alcohol does, wine specifically, it enhances the palate. It enhances what happens in your mouth. So basically, it was just so that we could understand how to pair our food with certain drinks, right? And that is why you'll find that maybe at a younger age, they can drink because they're teaching them how to pair red wine with steak, white wine with fish, but then come back to our people and coming back to the black person that's listening in on this conversation right now, which I know, right? alcohol becomes a culture in the township. It becomes one of those things that, when people are bored, they feel like we need to drink. We need to alter the state of our minds so that we are able to cope with certain things that are happening around us. So no longer is it now used to, enjoy a moment, to enjoy the food, like what I was expressing to you guys right now. It's now become, I need to forget, so I'm going to binge. I need to forget, so I'm going to drown my sorrows in the alcohol, in the wine, in the beverage. So basically, this video is to actually say to you, if you're listening right now, how much alcohol are you consuming, and are you consuming it for the right reasons? Because I feel like, drinking to get drunk, or drinking to, be in a high state of consciousness might not be the reasons why alcohol was created in the first place. And I think for us as Black people, we never understood the context of it, right? It was always used to make us forget. You can go into the deep depth of, the 1960s and 70s, but this is not the channel for that, right? I'm not going to go into that. But what I'm trying to say is that, are you aware of yourself and the reasons why you are consuming alcohol the way that you are, and what it does to your mental states when you drink, right? The one thing that I can actually say or talk about as well is, a lot of people that I've spoken to, that I've coached, and I talk about their wellness when it comes to consumption and drinking, is, they don't like how in the morning when they wake up, they've got a blackout, or, they don't remember certain things, right? And the reason why is that alcohol alters the neurotransmitters that are in the brain. So it also then will affect your behavior, your emotions, and how you regulate yourself from a nervous system perspective, because it alters everything that is in the system. That's what it's created to do, right? It's almost like, for a lack of a better word, and don't quote me on this one, guys, some sort of psychedelic that pushes you into a state of, brain unconsciousness, which you feel is like an ultimate high for you. But are you actually doing yourself justice? And that's part of the reason why I want to talk about this, right? And I think one thing that has also made me want to have this conversation is because how it actually lowers your inhibitions, which means that, you're more inclined to be involved in risky behavior, right? Because when you drink, your level of understanding or reasoning capacity actually reduces. And we all know this, but it's also because of what it does to the brain and the brain matter that is, the brain. So you've got gray and white matter in your brain. So it actually messes that, space from a neuron perspective, and allows you or makes you lower your inhibitions so that you can actually do anything and everything given in that state, because you don't have a state of control. You're not seeing enough. But some people will then argue with me and say, hey, Coach MSB, speak for those you've spoken to, but Tina, we know how to control it. We've done it. We drink. We can drink as many as we want. Two glasses a day, or as many in a week, but the long-term effect is that, like I said earlier on, it shrinks your brain. So the older you get, your memory starts becoming slower and slower because of how much alcohol intake that you have been taking. So ask yourself, in the last 7 days, how much have you consumed? Are you more of during the week drinker, or are you a weekend drinker? And if you're during the weekend, what are you drinking, and what states of consciousness do you get into? And then what happens the next day for you, right? Because I'm asking all these questions because there is a level of, if you want to have brain health and you want to preserve yourself and preserve your mind, you need to then do a brain detox or a cleansing that can allow you to almost preserve the neurons that are in your brains, the ones that make you remember, because long term you start losing your short term and your long term memory, and pushing you into a state of some sort of mental illness, dyslexia, amnesia to some extent. So you really, really want to start looking at why do you drink and what it actually does to you, right? And what also alcohol does, it dulls the sensory uptake, right? So it means that when on a day-to-day, on a normal basis, right? Yes, you're drinking now, your senses look sharp, but over time, you're not able to take in information with your brain anymore because you are dulling the sensory, the sensory uptake of your mind. So you want to actually look into that, right? Because what it does, it affects the hippocampus of the brain, which creates new memories each time you do something, right? So that's what contributes to memory blackouts. So the reason why when you drink you have memory blackouts is because your hippocampus, which is in your brain and your mind, it's like almost the middle, is being affected, and that's what helps you to take in experiences, take in senses and things that are around you. So you need to ask yourself, what benefit is this thing doing to me, right? And like I said, also, it speeds up the memory loss over time when you get older. And I think this one is for the gents, right? Studies have shown that men who do take 2.5 glasses a day will have signs of cognitive decline over time. So that means from a cognitive perspective, your mind, you are literally doing this to your body and to your mind. So you need to ask yourself over the years, right? How much cognitive sharpness do you want over time, and what kind of an adult do you want to grow up to be? And by adults, I mean, yes, we are adults now, I know, but grown up, I mean, as in like, what kind of old person do you want to be? If you're hitting your 40s, hitting your 50s, what sharpness, what alertness do you want to have, right? You don't want to have amnesia pushed by yourself, as opposed to maybe it being a hereditary thing, something that's in your family line. So just be aware of those little things, guys. And for young people that are listening to this, right, I also want to talk about how, when you're drinking, when you're underage, you're actually causing yourself to have brain damage, right? Because your brain has not fully developed. So you are actually, causing yourself to have an impaired brain and be more inclined to fall into a depressive state or have a mood disorder because your brain is not fully developed yet, but you're drinking alcohol and you're consuming that. Rather worry about, things. There's so much to see in the world. There's so much to explore. Alcohol, there's nothing really to it. Yes, I understand that it alters and it makes you feel like you're excited and happy, but the long-term effects of that are not necessarily beneficial to you. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is that heavy drinking lowers cognitive function and emotional regulation. So if you're a heavy drinker, ask yourself, people that drink like to cry. Othala umuntu akhala, now you're drunk and now you're crying, and your cognitive function. So you have no rationale around spaces that you should be, expressing your emotions, versus spaces that you should be nurtured and look out for yourself in. But that's because you're, from an emotional regulation perspective of your nervous system, you're pushing yourself to be in high sensory states, and therefore you are going to find that, you might be crying out of nowhere, right? Because you're altering your state of consciousness and state of well-being, which is why I say, guys, I say to you guys, perhaps this drinking culture that we've learned and seen around us is not necessarily so glamorous and luxurious as we think it is, Ask yourself why you're drinking and why you do it and how many times you do it in a week. And if you were to stop, what would happen? Would you be able to go to a function, go to a party, go to any occasion and still enjoy yourself like everyone else is enjoying themselves without you having to, have a glass of wine, have beer, have a cider. And like me, who really enjoys the lifestyle that it looks, but also is aware of her consciousness now more than ever. Do you think maybe more non-alcoholic brands can actually take up the space and just allow us to really just let go and, be still, enjoy ourselves, but really, really let go and not have to drink to enjoy, I'd like for you guys to comment in the comment section and just let me know what you guys think about the drinking culture in South Africa and how can we curb it? How can we stop it? How can we, enjoy, ourselves without necessarily thinking that drinking is a thing. Okay, I'm a cooler box. People have lots of cooler boxes, have a lot of drinks in there. And when you go to a place or go to a club and you say, hey, I don't drink, everyone is just like, ooh, ya bora. Or, ooh, why do you do that to yourself, And for those who know me, I still enjoy and have a really good time without having to push myself into that state of an altered state of consciousness. So I do think there is something there. But if you want to know more about why alcohol and how alcohol actually affects your brain and your mind, do more studies and understand it a bit more. But here I am. I'm back this April. It's been a long time gone, and I'll do more topics where we talk about these things. I'll have guests on the show to, just talk about, people that have decided that, they're not drinking anymore. Why? Some people stop because of spiritual reasons. Some people stop because of life experiences, so there's a vast reason. But can you ever stop because you're preserving your mind and preserving your brain? Do you think that maybe stopping to drink alcohol could be that one reason for you to actually just live a little longer, remember things a little bit more, preserve yourself into your old age, retired age, Do you think that maybe that could be something that you could do, for you? I don't know, guys. Let me know, So yeah, there's great brands that are out there. I'm not gonna mention any of them, but from a wellness perspective, there are, where you don't necessarily have to be drinking, but you can enjoy. And some people I know on here, you'll go, these drinks that you guys are drinking that are non-alcoholic, they've got sugar. We are trying to, not lose weight, and all those things. I guess maybe they do have sugar. Maybe you just need to drink water. But all I'm trying to say is, you don't always have to be consuming ushaya all the time to enjoy life. Enjoy and simple pleasures. Guys, simple pleasures. If you're going to a restaurant, you can always order a non-alcoholic strawberry daiquiri. There's non-alcoholic mojitos. There's non-alcoholic everything. And by the way, guys, I'm not judging anyone that says, hey, I enjoy my drink. Each his own. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying there's long-term effects that we still need to look at. And given the culture that we have in our country, when we look at our townships as well, this whole notion that we've put in those spaces around drinking and making it so cool, and it's really killing our youth. With that said, guys, a whole lot of love, a whole lot of blessings. I hope you guys, I'm going to be posting every week this year from now. I feel like I'm in the new year. I've just walked into the new year again. So yeah, hopefully guys, you can share my link, like, share, subscribe, all of those beautiful things. And when you see me holding a glass, just know, it's either appetizer or, there's de-alcoholized wines nowadays. So we are in Ritseni, the non-drinkers, they can enjoy like just living up and just enjoying a good time, enjoying lifestyle and living their lives, but not necessarily altering their their state of consciousness. And that's what it's all about. So with that said, guys, a whole lot of love and light. Coaching Ms. P.